so don't swear. Don't make any obscene gestures. I mean, you could swear. No one's going to hear you right now. So here's Control Central right there. That's my camera. Joe uses my cell phone for his camera.
My iPad doesn't work.
And Joe, technology, yeah.
Retired teacher now for 2 years.
But that's it. So. And then we run, this is the audio. We run it out of there. And it goes right into here. And so you're hearing us talk at the same time, connecting the audio with the video. So.
We have to figure out how to get the setup to Braidwood.
It's very simple.
We bring the stuff that we do the games with.
Oh, come on down. Bring Evan with you too. I've been pestering him all day.
Are you kidding? For something like this, it's not a pester, believe me. We're flattered. You guys are nuts, but are kind of nuts. So.
We talked about doing a show early in the year, like in August at my pool.
Yeah. The coaches show is always fun.
Here we go.
It's a good one. We should do it somewhere, and all the coaches are there from everywhere.
Your official home for Joliet and Will County sports is 13.
Good evening and welcome. It is the Week 9 edition. Joe, are you getting chills yet? The Week 9 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports.
Christmas starts Saturday.
Telling you, Christmas, New Year's, my birthday, it's all wrapped up into one on Saturday night. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to Pigskin Preview. Of course, this edition and every edition of Pigskin Preview, sponsored by State Farm agents Kevin Malloy in New Lenox and John Wright in Joliet. Like a good neighbor, ladies?
State Farm is there.
Okay, we'll explain that in a second here.
Yes, we will.
We have very special guests that have decided to join us in the studio. And well, you know what, Joe? I have a rule. When you bring food, you're getting airtime.
You can do anything.
You can do whatever you want for the next 15 minutes. So we have forged a very fun relationship with our friends down in Reed Custer.
Yes.
And Joe, obviously, you guys went down to do the game this year and had a great time. And this goes back to last year on this time when we had Gavin Johnson on and we're talking. And of course, you know me, I have to take things a little bit farther than most. He said, well, you know, Coach, it's been a while since you've been in the playoffs. You're going to do a little something special for the guys? And yeah, we're having a taco truck. That's all I needed to hear, Joe.
That's right. No, yes.
Taco truck. All of a sudden, Reed Custer's got a taco truck at their playoff pairing show. And these ladies are part of the group that put all that together. And we are thrilled to welcome them. Ladies, first of all, walk up to the mic. I want to know who you are. Introduce yourselves.
Go ahead.
You don't have to give last names. Just walk right up the mic and talk into the mic.
Stacy.
And
Beth.
so Stacy and Beth are from the Gridiron Club at Reed Custer High School.
Great organization.
Great organization. I mean, besides the fact that they brought us dinner, which is wonderful.
That's unbelievable.
It is phenomenal, as we talked about before, just the turnaround at Reed Custer, the turnaround in that football program and what's happened and what has happened this year leading up. Again, you guys are very quiet. Move in a little bit closer. It's okay. I promise. It's like the witness protection program. No one can even, we'll blur you out on the video. And so I asked you before, and either one of you can take this. Is it a different feel this year? Is it a different compared to last year? Is it just as exciting? Is there a little bit more pressure this year? Ladies, what's the feel like down there for the comments right now?
I think last year we were the underdogs. So
there you go.
Being the underdog, you go into the game. If you win, we win. If we lose, everyone was expecting us to lose last year.
Yeah.
This year, I think there's more pressure on the boys because they are the top team this year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. There's no hiding when
more
you're.
pressure for the boys. If they lose, it's a big deal this year.
Do you have a son?
I do.
What's your son's name?
Jacob. He's the quarterback.
Okay. Very good.
So-
Senior. So
Senior.
is this your last?
This is my last go around.
No
My
other
last
no other
one.
ones.
No other ones.
See, that's a big mistake. You had to work on that earlier in life.
We're looking for some new kids.
You're gonna adopt some
Well,
new
I tell you
kids?
what, with a taco truck down there, who
Yeah,
knows,
you might have people moving in the district now. I mean, that's a possibility. So walk us through, we talked about team dinners. You guys do team dinners every week on Thursday. You talked about how it started out, and you'd have one or two moms or a couple of moms maybe make the dinners, and now it's kind of graduated. You've spoiled your kids, and now you guys seem like you're trying to up each other every week and trying to do something different. How does that come together? How do you guys put that together? Do you get different businesses involved? How does all that get organized? Because, I mean, it happens quite a bit around the area and certainly
Sure.
around the state,
Sure.
but how do you put together a dinner for what, 40, 50?
So it started for us when the boys were in 8th grade. We had team dinner in my garage and watched game film. And then when the boys went to high school, we started having team dinner at the high school. It was just for varsity, so our boys weren't included.
Right.
But we had started the Gridiron Club. We did a whole lot of spaghetti for a
Yep.
couple years.
Yep.
And then the community really has helped us out a ton. We have a lot of fundraisers, and we're able now. Most of us work until team dinner's pretty early, so
Right.
by the time we can get there, it's
It's
too
hard.
hard to
Yeah. It's a lot to
do
put
all
together.
that. So now they're spoiled. We order food from Burcott's or, well, actually tomorrow, we don't have a team dinner tonight, so we have a tradition. They're out of school tomorrow,
Okay.
and on the Friday they're out of school during the season, we pay for them to have a breakfast buffet at the Whistle Stop Cafe.
There you go.
So they're going there tomorrow for their team dinner this week, and then we're doing the taco truck again. That's not a surprise to them.
For
I think they're
pairing
expecting
night.
it. So it's just kind of evolved and gotten bigger and bigger, and we probably need to take a step back, but it's exciting now. We're in the playoffs, so
Yeah.
they're
Um,
spoiled.
I mean, how big of a hit was that taco truck on pairing night?
It was big news around the state. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. But I mean, I gotta imagine the kids had to love it, right? And the coaches and everything.
Yeah, I don't think they knew about it when did they?
No.
Whenever they got there last year, it was sitting out there.
Yeah.
They were surprised, so.
Yep.
That's nice.
So I mean, if you have businesses in the area that you would like to help out the Gridiron Club, by all means, get involved. And again, just talk about giving back to a great program and certainly a worthy cause. And let's face it, everyone loves a winner. Get behind Reed Custer,
That's
support
right.
them
I totally
local
agree with that.
businesses.
Yep.
You know, you want to do business, you want to be good neighbors like our friends at State Farm every week.
That's right.
Honestly, we can't do this show without them. Seriously, we would not be on the air
No.
if it wasn't for Kevin Malloy and John Wright
Yes, for sure.
and some of our other sponsors here as well. So the same goes for the Gridiron Club. I'm sure any kind of help you can get, that's less money out of their pockets and get involved,
When you're
Joe.
feeding hungry football players.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's no doubt about it. Favorite game last year? What was it? The game that where you guys felt, all right,
We're gonna be
pretty good. What game was it? Ooh, we stumped them, Joe.
I don't know.
Wasn't one in particular that was like a big win, and you guys said, okay, wow, that's a really big win.
Even though it was later in the year, I would say Coal City was a big win
Yeah.
for us
Yes,
last
there you
year.
Yeah,
It was a big win.
Yep.
Going into that game, the running back, he was huge. Had to stop him running. So I think that was a big game.
awesome. Yeah, another big name in the area. I mean, that's what's cool. When we talked about this off the air, what's cool about that conference show is, you look at the scores that the Comets have put up. It's been ridiculous this year. And again, and by the way, Edgy Board fans, stop railing
Yes.
on Reed
yes,
Custer for
yes.
running up the
I
score.
agree
They're
with
not
that.
running up the score.
I agree with that.
They're playing football. They've got backups and backups in, okay? You can't tell them to stop playing, Joe.
And I can vouch for that. When I was down there doing the Wilmington game, I can vouch for that.
Don't listen to those goofballs. Believe me, I barely listen to them. But again, you're putting up those kind of points. You're not doing it against teams that aren't going to have playoff success. You're doing it against most likely, Joe, teams that are going to win a first round and get deeper. You know, and I mean, Wilmington could go on a
That's right,
run,
yes, they could.
and you've got others, Coal City as well. Coal City's had a nice turnaround
Yes,
here
they
after
have.
early in the year.
Yep.
So again, that's what's really encouraging. And I mean, we just, you know, for a long time, we'd always wanted to do more. And Evan can attest to this too. We've talked about it for a long time. Like, you know, we need to reach out our big burly arms and just embrace some of these schools because, you know, I know there's spotty radio. It depends where you're at. Some schools get covered, some don't. And let's face it, the signal here isn't the greatest, but all the online stuff completely does away with that in my mind. I'm
Right.
sure the station doesn't love hearing that, but you know, with the web and everything else, I mean, I listen to the station off my Alexa.
Yeah.
It completely changes the game. And I mean, streaming our show now on YouTube. I mean, so there's more ways than ever to get this. And, you know, why not? I mean, we take pride in the fact that we want to cover the whole area. I mean, we go as far as Lincoln Way East. We've gone as far east as Crete. We've brought Crete in the show. We'll go further south. We'll go further west. I don't care. And then Morris. Morris is one of those. There's like 3 radio stations in Morris. I don't care.
Yeah.
That's Morris. I live 5-10 minutes from there. I live in Shanahan. So it's like,
Right.
yeah. I mean, are you kidding? I'd rather go to Reed. I'd rather go to Reed Custer than anywhere north or west because I'm like 10-15 minutes from
Right.
Reed Custer. Hell yeah, I'll go there. I don't mind doing that at all. So we appreciate you guys welcoming us for sure.
Yes.
And when we talk about, and we get treated great wherever
Oh,
we go.
do.
Seriously,
We do.
they roll out the red carpet but when we go into place, and Joe, you know this, where you don't really know people and you're kind of a newbie and you've got 2 other radio stations giving you dirty looks because you're there. Too bad. We totally appreciate it. And we
Yes.
appreciate what you guys did tonight. It's ridiculous, but it's awesome
This
at the
was a
same
great
time.
surprise.
So I guess we'll be back in the playoffs, Joe. What do you think?
Yes,
I'm going to have to come this time, though.
yes.
I will definitely
Yeah.
come this time. See, the ladies want to get an agreement out of me. All right. If things play out the way I think it's going to play out, it will not be round 1.
Okay.
It won't be. Because the way things will go, I think you'll have a relatively smooth week 1
Yes.
in the playoffs.
I
So
think so.
I know
We don't count anyone out.
the girls
We
did
don't.
not say anything. That's Edgy Tim saying that. Okay,
We're allowed to say that here.
Coach. That was Edgy Tim saying that,
Okay,
not
I
your
got you
moms.
covered.
Your
I got
moms
you
are
covered. Yeah.
right in line, lockstep with you guys. But once we get a little bit into the playoffs, you know, it'd be really cool. A Saturday night playoff game.
Oh,
That
Yeah.
would be
Oh,
really
that
cool.
would be nice.
There's one other rival of yours that does that quite a bit. And
Yes.
they've been known to drag me over there from time to time. So
Yes.
You'll have to hang out after the game though, because then we go
Fine.
to Hog Wild and we have a little get together after our games there. They're
We're
huge
there.
supporters.
Joe,
We're there.
there you go. There you go.
Oh,
Thank you.
yes, thank you.
Thanks
for
This
coming
was
in.
a-
Awesome.
This was an unbelievable
Huge surprise,
Yes,
and
it
we
was.
appreciate it. And so, if my wife's listening, we have Joe's wife bringing us baked goods. The wife finally stepped up and got us some cupcakes tonight, so thank you, dear. Now we have taco dinners here.
Yes.
So,
Unbelievable.
wives, I'm just saying, and Jen, if you're listening, just saying, she's not. She doesn't care.
Yes, yes.
Up your game, ladies. Kidding. Thank you
Well, thank
very
you
much.
very much.
Two ladies
Really
joining us in the
appreciate
Gridiron
that.
Club at Reed Custer.
Yes.
We'll step aside and take a break. When we come back, we will have open phone lines, believe it or not. If you want to talk Week 9 playoffs, possible pairings, whatever, we're here for you. This is the Week 9 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News, Talk Sports.
Yeah, yeah,
I coach at Joe.
yeah, baseball, right?
So
Yeah.
that's why after
Joe knows everyone.
I went up to him and talked to him after the game.
Yeah.
He's the best player.
Thank you.
But yeah, tremendous athlete, and it was good to see him actually seeing him live rather than on film. Because during last year's run, I would just watch match just watch stuff on seeing that live and seeing it on the street down there. It's just as good as Wilmington. It's just as good as all the other small places and stuff like that. The towns and stuff you go to. Right? But your son is a special athlete.
Thank you. Yeah, I hope we don't meet up with you again.
I don't know. I don't know if we'll be back.
I don't think, will you guys be 2A again for
Yeah, we
baseball
are
or
2A.
one more year?
One more year. win a regional,
Yeah.
then we'll go up to 3. Yeah, it's very beautiful facilities.
Yeah, I mean, even before we got turf.
That's always
our
been-
Football field
yeah,
is nice.
Yeah.
And the baseball
And they
field,
keep the baseball field
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
So have they talked about the indoor turf facility yet, or no? You're going to get the 100-yard indoor turf practice
They're
field?
actually talking about turf for the baseball softball fields right now.
That's a
I
great
think
thing to
that's
do.
something
That's a
that-
great thing.
Just because of all the rainouts last year.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
got,
Oh, yeah.
We'll
they
tell you.
started,
Great
talking
thing to
about
do.
that, yeah.
Yeah, because there's enough land out there. For
2 minutes.
to build something.
All right.
Yeah, and you start so early in the season, March, the weather is just.
Yeah, you get better
Yeah.
weather. Well, last Friday night was a little cold and rainy, but that's the weather we see in the springtime all the time.
Oh, yeah, we have white uniforms. Mom's trying to wash those uniforms on Saturday
There's no
morning.
doubt.
Yeah.
I had a daughter that played softball, will travel and school ball for 9 years, and every team she was ever on had white pants.
Well, thank you again.
Okay.
Thanks for coming. Thank you very much. You too. We will
We're gonna go out and call your phone line now.
we will be down in the playoffs, and if he doesn't pick it up, it's his fault right there.
Thank you, Evan.
All
We're
right.
on the
Thank
Red
you.
Ant Club Facebook page if you need us. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
No, you
Thank
can leave it.
you very much.
That's it. That's where I'm going. You treat us that well. All right, this segment we'll open up, we'll talk just a little bit, and then we'll get into that. And then we'll take any calls after that. That was pretty awesome. See what's in there. Dig into it. I'm gonna guess it's a ton of stuff.
It's gonna be a whole load of stuff. I'm not gonna be able to eat.
Can't eat any of that.
I probably shouldn't. A little bit of it down.
Yeah.
They had
All right.
pain and were able to reduce their use of oral pain medication.
When they said they were bringing stuff, I assumed it was just gonna be like a dish with some tacos on it. I didn't think they were gonna bring 2 bags filled with styrofoam.
And welcome back to the Week 9 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. EDGYTIM along with the coach Joe Rodegaro, Evan Bredesen spinning the dials, and Joe.
Yes, sir.
Going to be pretty hard to top that last segment.
Oh,
And what a tremendous, thoughtful thing to do for us.
Yes.
Again, the 2 ladies from the Booster Club, from the Gridiron Club,
Yes.
from Reed Custer and Joe. They brought a little bit of food. So
Yeah, they brought enough.
we'll swing it over to the camera and then we'll show you what they brought in for us. But again, totally appreciate that. And again, Joe, we're just blessed. We
Yes.
really are
Oh, yeah.
here. We
Great people out there.
you never realize the amount of people that are out there that that listen and enjoy it.
There are a
And
few people that listen.
I love the Reed Custer people tailgating on Thursday night in the garage. Hey, salute to you dudes out in the garage drinking a
Yeah,
beer,
yeah,
listening to
yeah.
Pigskin
Salute
Preview.
you guys.
We are right there with you.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Oh, for sure.
Trust me. If we could, we'd bring the transmitter out there. We'd sit in the garage and do the
That's
show
right.
with you.
Sit out
So,
in the driveway and
so again,
all you
thanks
guys.
to the 2 ladies for making the trip up here. And believe me, these days with traffic on 55 and everything else, it could be a nightmare.
Yes,
So
yes.
we appreciate them coming by. All right, we'll get on with the show. We've got open phone lines 815-254-7300. But before we get into that, Joe, last week you came into the studio and you had a very awesome looking hat on.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
And I said, Joe, you got to find out what's the deal with that hat. Well, obviously, this is something that Joe's involved with that I think we all should get involved with. So, Joe, fill us in. What's the symbolic behind the shirt and the hat, and give us the update.
Okay, I got this shirt and the hat for my cousin, Dr. Ginger.
It's
Okay.
and it's a bear.
Yeah, and I'll explain
Sure.
that also to everybody because I have to ask Ginger about that also. This is dedicated to her youngest son, Connor Christian, who was a graduate of 2021 at Lockport.
Yep.
Very, very good baseball player. Great guy, great kid. Just an all-American kid. And I got to talk to him a little bit after they kind of kicked our butts a little bit in the springtime, but I had a chance to talk to Connor and wished him good luck. We talked about the season. He's just a great kid. I found out after the game that he was trying to get into the Air Force Academy, and you know how that stuff works. You need
Yeah, it's
political
tough.
people writing letters and all this other stuff. So When I talked to the coaches after everybody left, so I said, you know what, I'm going to try. I have just a few political contacts out there still.
A few. You coached them all.
And so I called Ginger up and asked her if I could get involved with this and whatever. And she said, whatever you can do. So I made a few contacts, and I don't know if Connor was going to be able to get into the Air Force Academy because all the commits or whatever they have, they could get in.
So many nominations.
Yeah, he was going to go to the U because grade-wise, brilliant young man. Very smart. So we're going to try to get him in either at semester or the next year. Well, on July 14th of 2021, Ginger was telling me he was kind of motor skill wise, walking and kind of limping and stuff. They couldn't figure out what was wrong with him. And so they brought him up to Rush, and on July 14th, he was diagnosed with, I hope I pronounce this correct out there, glioblastoma, which is an aggressive brain cancer that attacks the nerve cells in the brain. And so they did a biopsy, and they knew it was cancerous. And a week later, he was ready to start. And it's something Ginger kind of explained to me. It's not like a regular brain tumor where the brain would, after they took it out, would heal itself. It's something that there'd be an empty space in there. And so they decided to go with some treatments to try to shrink it. Well, the day before he was supposed to get his first treatment, the doctor called wherever they were going to go and said, well, it has grown more. So they went in there and they put a stent in to drain some of the fluid in that. And on July 30th of 2021, Connor passed away. It ruptured in his brain, and he passed away. So again, I didn't know about this. I did a little bit of research on this, and in talking to Ginger, I'm getting a little emotional about this.
Of course.
It is a relative. It's
absolutely. Yeah.
And it was just something that really attacks adults. But now they're seeing it more and more that it's attacking young people too.
Yeah.
And it's very debilitating, and it causes death. And so after, I don't know how long this took, but his family put together a foundation, and you can Google it. It's CC2.
Right.
It's for Connor Christian, and he wore number 2. And the bear on my shirt and the hat represent what Ginger used to call him. He was still called him.
I told you.
A little bear.
I told you. That's what I called my son Michael when he was little.
Yeah,
the bear.
And so that's the reason why the CC2 with the bear.
Yep.
And that's why I wear the shirt tonight.
Awesome.
Proudly.
So how can we get involved? How can our listeners get involved?
You can Google CC2 Forever Foundation, and it comes up, or there's the website cc2forever.com. Again, it's a nonprofit organization. They want to give money to do the research for this.
Yep.
They do give some scholarship money out. Connor was part of the Orland Sparks, I think it was, organization, and they give scholarships, and they sell the T-shirts, the hats, sweatshirts. I'm sure it's online.
Awesome.
You can go to, if you live in near Lockport, or Lockport Sports Huddle in Lockport has the gear.
Of course.
Mike DeRola, who I coach.
Anyone in baseball or softball knows Sports Huddle. You have to.
Yeah.
It's like a requirement.
Yeah, so you can get all this gear, and all this money, all the proceeds go to this foundation, which goes to the research and scholarships.
So what I'll do is I'll link that on the weekly show page. Put a link in there, and I'll put some of it on my message boards and tweet it out and what have you. So again, there you go. So again, if you guys can help at all, we'd love to hear it.
For sure.
Appreciate that, Joe, for sure, and probably got my hat on.
Yes.
So we will definitely try to help out any way we can, and appreciate that. So I know that wasn't easy for you.
Yes.
Again, phone lines are open. Bob's there. Let's go out to Bob. Hey, Bob, welcome aboard. Well, nothing and everything, Bob. It's, nothing going on, but it's week 9. We're getting ready for playoffs, and I know you are as well. This week, obviously you're finishing up with Montini. I think if you looked at the schedule back in the preseason, you probably would have got a little more excited about this game than what it wound up to be. How's your feel on this team going into the playoffs? Yep. Yeah, I mean, I think, Joe, if we're Hilltoppers, you got to be encouraged that, TJ's had a heck of a year.
Yes, he has.
Sure. You have more than just the run game. You've got the passing game as well, and there's a lot to be excited about, Joe. I don't think there's any doubt. And it looks like but for sure you're going to wind up in 4A. There's no question there. So you've got a good idea of where you're going to wind up. So play ball.
Yeah, just.
Right. Yeah, because Joe, Bob, as you know, teams like Providence, ton of playoff points. I mean, you play good teams, you're going to have a lot of playoff points, and that certainly is a factor. And again, I mean, Plainfield Central plays at 0-8, Joel 8 Central.
Right.
They get 5 wins, they should be able to get in. We're going to have Steve Soucy on at 7:05, and we'll get a little bit more technical on will all 5 and 4s get in, what's the point total, that kind of thing. So we'll get some answers from Seuss for sure.
Guy to my left.
Well, I'm doing stuff with IHSA pre-show and post-show. Dave Bernhardt is co-hosting with Matt Rodewald on the TV portion of it for between 8 and 9. Okay? All right, Bob. Thanks for calling, buddy.
Bye, buddy. Take care, Bob.
All right, Bob jumps off, and we appreciate it. Joe, we've got plenty of people out there. Matt Now's out there saying hello. Matt Now, actually at games. Joe, there's quite a few games tonight. A lot of schools are playing Thursday night. All the DuPage Valley schools are playing tonight. Naperville North, Naperville Central is tonight. That's where Matt Now is. So hi, Matt. There's some others as well. Some West Suburban schools. Yeah, it's a little South Suburban schools as well. I think one of the conferences. I don't think it's Lamont. I think it's the other one. Are playing tonight as well.
Okay.
So just something new, I guess. So why not? Getting questions, some DMs. Again, if you're watching, hello, everybody. If you're watching on the YouTube stream, we appreciate it. Scott Grant, will Sacred Heart go 3A? Well, again, we'll have the wizard of bracketology here. I can tell you right offhand, no, because there were some big drastic changes in the smaller classes over the weekend. Bumped the field up. Sacred Heart, from what I've been able to tell, looks relatively solid in 4A right now, Scott. So there's your answer. Captain's out there again tonight. Thoughts on JCA and Manuka's playoff spots? Well, again, Joe, JCA going to wind up in 4A.
Right.
They're going to end up most likely getting a home game. They get a win tomorrow night. Obviously, that puts them in 7-2.
Right.
Puts them in a better position for a home game. Now, the thing to remember, Captain and everyone else, we are not 1 through 32 from 6A and below. We are still going with geographics.
South, yeah.
So you, JCA, are going to get lumped in a northern bracket, which could be pretty tough.
Yes.
Could be pretty tough. So, again, we'll have Seuss. We'll dig into it to a little bit. And as far as Manuka is concerned, Captain, you need a win. You got to win this week. I mean, you're going to get in regardless, but this could be, most likely even at 6-3, you're going on the road week 1.
Yes, because right now they are on the road projected right now.
And that's worked out okay. Manuka got a huge win over York last year on the road.
Yep.
It should be interesting for sure where they wind up. And again, Captain, it's 8A. You're not going to get any, fingers crossed you end up landing a Lane Tech. No disrespect to Lane Tech, but they will be arguably the worst field in the worst team in the 8A field, hands down. You might look out in one of those, but odds are you're going to get a monster in 8A. So, Joe, the old saying, you get what you get.
That's right.
And that's all that you get.
Just got to play the team in front of you. That's
No doubt about it. Joe, our game of the week, which I can't believe it's 6:36 and I'm getting to the game of the week. Friday Night Lights, tomorrow night, 6:05 with Evan, the pregame show. Is it a 7:30 kickoff from Providence? That doesn't sound right. Maybe it is. 7:30 kickoff from Providence. St. Lawrence comes into the Emerald Isle to take on Providence. St. Lawrence, unfortunately, 4-5. Now, they're going to have a lot of playoff points. We will also get into that with Mr. Soucy, whether 4 and 5s are going to get in and who could be some of those teams. I don't think St. Lawrence is right at the top of that, though, from what the look into what I was able to do. I didn't see it. Providence at 4 and 4, Joe, they need a win to get in, and it's playoff week already at Providence.
Right. And again, St. Lawrence at 3 and 5. I did a little bit of. They have actually one more playoff point than Providence.
So
Providence
they've
has
got a good
44.
amount.
They've got 45. So
That's quite a bit.
that I know we talked about that during the week, and we mentioned numbers,
Yep.
and 45 seemed to
Well,
be a good number.
Well, here's what I'm going to throw out there, and we'll talk to Seuss about this as well. At this point, why not consider 5 and 4s and 4 and 5s is the same, and sort them out by playoff points. So you want to improve the field? That's one way to improve the field.
Yeah, I agree.
Now you're going to have some 5 and 4s that are going to get mad, but aren't the playoff points kind of the tell-all?
It sure is.
So,
I agree with that.
Just
And
a
again,
thought.
Conferences are conferences. Some conferences are tougher than others.
Right.
So,
Right. And, you know, and if you're in a lock conference, and that's another thing that we're going to dig into a little bit. If you're in a lock conference and you're only getting like 2 or 3 teams in the playoff field where you have years where maybe you could do better and have more, maybe that's a reason to break away from a lock conference to get you outside of that conference and go
Right.
earn some
Oh,
more
yes.
playoff points. I don't know. But if I'm in a lock conference and I go 5 and 4 and I don't get in because of lack of playoff
I'd
points,
be a little
I'll
upset.
be a little upset. So.
Yes.
So we'll see. 815-254-7300. Joe, some area games. We talked about Montini Catholic at Joliet Catholic. By the way, Joe, the old lady, Joliet Memorial, she looks good these days. It's
She
like
does.
it's like the Park District took her out and got her a new hairdo and a new dress, and she
Yes.
looks pretty good.
It does
So
look
so
very
congrats to the Joliet Park District.
Yes.
Is it Busey Bank is the new naming?
Yes.
They put a lot of bunting up and new signage. I know Darcy obviously is involved in that as well because, well, it's Darcy and they control everything autos around here. They certainly have gotten a lot of my money and my family's money over the years.
Yeah,
So,
mine too.
so good. And again, Terry Darcy always giving back to the community, but it looks good over there, John. I don't know if you've seen it.
Very. We
Done a
were there
nice job.
twice, And UC Bank said, well, they don't want their logo, so it's a Park District logo.
Right.
And you know, and
But it looks good.
Oh,
It
it does,
definitely,
really does.
definitely makes it look a little brighter, a little newer, get rid of all the cement look and about as much as you can do with a how old stadium? Very old stadium.
yeah, I couldn't even tell you.
Yeah, very old. Older than Joe? Maybe.
Uh,
That's really old.
Maybe not, but probably is.
Joe Mantino at Wilmington.
Wilmington.
Lyle at Piatone.
I'm going to pick Piatone. here.
Boy, Lyle needs that win though, man. That could be a close
We're
one.
playing at Piatone though.
Yeah, I know. Cole City on the road. They're 5 and 3. They're in. They're at Streeter.
You'll go 6 and 3.
Hersher at our friends at Reed Custer. Why? How dare I even ask? I know we don't want to get too
To all the
cocky.
people that are in the garage and
Yeah, and the ladies driving back,
home, you guys are a big winner.
they take every opponent one at a time, Joe. We got the coach speak from the moms and everything else, so
Yeah,
it's our job to look ahead and,
That's right.
and to state the obvious.
And we always
It's their
say.
job to one game at a time us.
Yep.
Joe, arguably one of the best games in the state tomorrow night. Morris at Sycamore, 7-1 at 8-0.
I had a great conversation Saturday morning with Rob Osterley, who covered.
Look
the
at
West
you.
Joliet
Oh,
Central
boy,
game.
where'd you see Rob?
He was at the game.
Okay.
He covered the game.
Oh yeah, that's right, Joliet West Joliet
And
Central.
specifically just talked about teams in general, but we had a nice conversation about Morris. And he's just rattling off kids and how good he thinks they
Yeah.
are and stuff.
Yeah.
And I know they are, and he just kind of reaffirmed what I talk every week about Morris. I'm picking them to win. I really am.
Yeah, that's a tough
I know
call.
it's a tough one.
That's a tough call. Sycamore's really good at home too. Lamont at TF South again, Joe. This is not our dad's or our TF South team. A lot of injuries over at South this year. That's been a big part of it. Arguably, Joe, one of the top games tomorrow night. A game that we're going to cover pretty heavily here. Joliet West at 4 and 4 at Plainfield South at 5 and 3. Plainfield South's in, Joe, but I think they'd like to knock the Tigers off and keep them at home. What do you think?
Well, if they win, and then that definitely knocks, I think, Joliet West out of the playoffs for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Plainfield South, very good team. I got a chance to see them play 2 weeks ago, and I know we're going to talk to Coach Bicker in a little bit, but Very impressed with Plainfield South.
All right, we'll step aside and take a break. When we come back, we will go out to the phone lines and bring in our first guest. Again, the head man in charge at Plainfield South, Bill Bicker, will join us. You're listening to the Week 9 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News, Talk, Sports. All right, I got to see what's in this.
I got a text from Mark Sefner.
Yeah.
He says no audio on YouTube from phone call.
While homeless on the streets, someone like Dinky knows the feeling of being overlooked. Right before Thanksgiving, I was cold, I had a blanket, and then I was getting
Gotta be a setting here.
this Thanksgiving.
No, Joe's on mute. Joe's mic's always on mute.
Doesn't overlook Thanksgiving. In fact, Morning Star is able to be ready.
Who's that?
If someone
Just someone who just won't stop calling.
Oh, who is it?
only increase
Do you know who it is?
No.
Don't tell me stop fucking calling.
for Thanksgiving now.
They call in occasionally. They always use a different name than what's on the caller ID.
Children in need this Thanksgiving.
They always call it the end of the
All right, so I don't know if this had anything to do with it, but I turned up the volume on my computer. You see?
Yeah, that's,
But why would it block out just the phone calls?
it shouldn't.
They can hear us fine.
Time for maintenance on my furnace. Better find the best price. Not just the best price. You need the best, most professional service too. You don't want to be without heat in the middle of winter. Okay, so who do you trust? Well, I've been using Roscoe's Heating and Cooling for years. They're always so professional with my heating maintenance, and Roscoe's goes above and beyond. They'll check all the gas-fired appliances in our house for safety, not just your furnace. Like my stove or clothes dryer or water heater too? Yep. Roscoe's checks all the above. And of course, thoroughly cleans our heating system. They'll make sure it's all safe and ready to go. And my winters,
Oh, no, it takes up.
It's like 10 pounds.
for my furnace.
That was unbelievable.
My garage while they're at it. You're on your own there.
That was just.
I'm calling Roscoe's Heating and Cooling today. Or go online. ROUSCULPS.com. That's ROUSCULPS.com.
Oh my God, Joe. Holy crap. It's like full meals. Taco meal.
Yeah, these are probably 3 meals where they're stuffing it, but there's the sauces. You know, they don't put it on a plate.
Oh, there's more. There's like 2 other containers.
Do a different routine that flushes out even the most difficult cases of fungus. It's called Crystal Flush. Call now, and for a limited time, you can try Crystal Flush risk-free for 30 days. Call 800-675-9431. That's 800-675-9431.
Hey, it's Dana Cortez, and I'm married to DJ Automatic. So when it comes to big life decisions,
Wow.
options is something I value for our
There's
family.
like 5.
When it comes to saving money, that's why I love State Farm.
State Farm knows everyone has a budget, and they've got options that can insure your car and your home.
Wow.
Great rates on both, or they can help personalize
And like everything. Sauces, utensils, everything.
Saving money, that's what it's all about. So we bundle our home and our car. So for surprisingly great rates, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call us on statefarm.com for a quote today.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
No, you're fine. I'm here. And welcome back. It is the Week 9 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News, Talk, Sports. Glad to have you along with us again. We are excited. Week 9, gearing up for the playoffs. By the way, we were made aware that we're having a little bit of an audio issue on YouTube with phone calls. So we are working on that feverishly to try to get that corrected. Thanks to everyone for letting us know. We are going to try to hook up here momentarily with Bill Bicker, head coach of Plainfield South. As we mentioned, the Cougars will host 4-4 Joey at West. So basically, we're talking playoff game in Week 9 out in Plainfield South District. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll try to bring these over. Joe, I had a chance to open up what the ladies from Reed Custer Gridiron Club sent us. Joe, there's like 3 taco dinners with beans and rice and utensils and everything you would want. Man,
Right up my
they're
alley.
loading us up.
Oh, my gosh.
So we are trying to hook up with Bill Bicker. Having a little trouble getting a hold of him right now. Bill, if you're out there, 815-254-7300. If you would like to call into the studio, we're going to double check the number, make sure I did not give Evan a wrong number. God, I've been known to do that before. So we will definitely try to hook up and get Bill Bicker, and we will talk about his big game tomorrow night taking on Joliet West. Joe, as far as the rest of the areas, as far as playoffs, and we talked about it, is concerned, again, we're still trying to get hooked up with Bill Bicker. So again, Bill, if you're out there, 815-254-7300, if you want to call in the studio, we'll happily pick that call up and put you right in. In the meantime, we will continue to find out. Joe,
Yes, sir.
just some general thoughts on the area and maybe some teams that people need to look out for a little bit.
Well, again, I was at Lincoln Way East last week, and they're everything you said about them and what people have said about them, they're very good. I got a chance to see Reed Custer. They're very good. Their front four defensively is very good. Lamont is very good. You mentioned that, and very strong. We talked to Brett. Plainfield North is kind of that team that really nobody knows about a whole lot, and maybe that's why I know the coach at the beginning of the year said they want to kind of fly under the radar. Well, I don't think they're flying under the radar anymore here. As far as kind of surprise teams, again, we always talk about Plainfield South. Providence is another team that's kind of maybe a surprise with the new head coach and in making the playoffs here. But really, Edge, for our area, the teams that we thought were going to make the playoffs made the playoffs, and hopefully somebody
WJOL.
will. It's actually.
Yeah, I'll put you on hold.
With everybody kind of in that conference in the East and the Southwest Prairie, we're going to see how that shakes out.
Yeah. Again, unfortunately, not able to connect to Bill Bicker. So, again, Bill, if you're out there, we would love to hear from you. We'll keep trying. Obviously, stuff happens, unfortunately.
Yes.
So, but again, looking forward to that game for sure. We are planning on having Dan Tito on from Joliet West in the 7:00 hour. So we'll certainly get his take on that ball game tomorrow night as well out at Plainfield South.
Yes.
We'll go through the rest of the area schedule. By the way, if you're watching us on YouTube on the stream, hello, thanks for watching. You can DM us any questions. We might not like it, might not use it, but if it's halfway decent, we'll use it.
Sure.
Like our friend Keith Smiley, who basically let us know that we were having some audio issues. That's wonderful.
Yep.
Thank you, Keith.
Other Bob is on the line.
Oh, other Bob joins us. Let's go out to the phone lines. Hello, other Bob. Hello, Bob. Good. How are you?
WJOL, how can I help you? Hey, Coach. Yeah, I'm sorry. We're having some issues, so I'll put you on hold. I appreciate you calling in.
Well, I appreciate that. We're certainly having fun, and again, I don't know if you heard the beginning of the show, but we had a couple ladies from the Reed Custer Gridiron Club come in and basically dropped like 5 full Mexican meals from the taco truck for us, which is just awesome. But dude, we still have fun, you know? Yeah, I mean, we still have fun. Hey, do you have a question real quick? Because I got Bill Bicker on hold. I'm sorry, surprise things.
Surprise teams, maybe.
Okay. All right, other Bob. Thanks. We'll answer that. We're gonna hang up and we'll answer that. Joe,
Yes, sir.
surprise teams.
Well, Providence, as I mentioned.
I think in a good way, for sure.
I think nobody mentioned the guy that we're going to have on in a minute. Plainfield South is a kind of a surprise team.
Yeah, I thought they'd be pretty good this year.
Other than that, like I said, the teams in the area are all pretty good.
Both Lincoln Ways not in the playoff field's a little bit of a surprise, but I think we're spoiled as well.
Yes, we are.
So, but you're so used to seeing all the Lincoln Ways automatically in the playoffs. It's a little bit of a surprise.
Yep.
All right, we'll go out to the phone lines. Joining us, head coach of Plainfield South. Appreciate him joining us, Bill Bicker. Bill, good evening. we're doing good. We've got 5 full Mexican dinners in here right now, but we're on the radio talking, so it's kind of like a tortured
We
life.
have to wait.
The
Gridiron Club,
Gridiron Club from Reed Custer.
yes.
Yeah, no, they're fantastic, and we definitely appreciate it. And again, that's a program that continues to just make great strides. There's no doubt about it. You got one heck of a game tomorrow night.
Bill, I saw you guys 2 weeks, very impressed. Offensively, you talked about Connor Foliard. What really impressed me about the game against Plainfield Central was the fact his connections with Amari Ford. I mean, just watching the patterns and releasing the ball, and I call them stick routes a lot of times for first downs and that. But you're right about Amari Ford too. Anything near his hands, he's going to catch the football. And of course, Brian Stanton had a great game. But not my question, but I'm just going to make an observation. Last week you guys 272 yards on the ground against Plainfield East. Your offensive line. Linemen usually don't get a lot of credit here, but Anthony Razzo, hopefully I'm naming these kids right. Jaden LeBoy Brown, Zach Huffman, Xander Cruz, Sebastian Garcia. Those guys have done a good job. What I saw two weeks ago, and it sounds like they had a great job last week also. And people don't realize how, like what you said about the center, how important it is. And we talk about defense with linebackers and calling out the formation and, moving the line. But that center on offense, to me, is the linebacker of the offensive team. Right.
What is the plan of attack when it comes to looking past week 9? And okay, this is where you fill in your coach speak and tell me you're not looking past tomorrow night's game. But, obviously after tomorrow night, you're going to have more football. So, I mean, obviously the influx of Huddle has changed things considerably. Have you been working? Is there a plan of attack, and who is the in-house bracketologist for Plainfield South? Okay. Dabbling. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah. Yep. 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 Do you guys do anything just as a staff, or what do you do on pairing night? Yep.
There you go.
Yeah. so I think what we'll do, I mean, I think, you know, some of my coaches might get together, but this might be one of the years we don't. We have in the past, I usually host people over and buy the coaches' wives gifts for enduring us.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta treat those wives well, Bill, for sure.
By the way, Reed Custer's having a taco truck again. So.
Yes, yeah. So we might, you know, those are some things we're looking at. We're looking at maybe doing some things during the week and then just some special things, you know, as we do self-fists and things like that.
Anything better than week 10 practice?
No, there's nothing better than only if it's week 11 and snowing, you know. And
there you go.
Yep.
I mean, I guess better than week 10 is week 11, better than week 11 is week 12, and then so on. So, you know, for us, we set a goal, and it's kind of the set when I first got it at Plainfield South was we want to play in week 12 because nobody in the school has played in week 12. And so school history,
right. Yeah,
there hasn't been a team that's played in week 12. So we said that every year. It's one of our 4 goals, and it's the 4th goal is playing week 12 and beyond. And so we're hoping, I mean, we really like our group. They keep getting better each week. And we think that, you know, we've got some kids that are special playmaking type kids, the kind of kids you need on both sides of the ball if you're going to do something like that. So we're looking forward to it.
Feel good about who you got projected, or are you not certain on it right now?
I'm not certain because there's so,
I know,
you know,
so many
with 8A, with 8A right now, it's so kind of crazy because there's just not as many. It looks like there won't be as many eligible 5-win teams, and so, you know, I think there's just like a little run there that we're not quite sure on, and so we're looking forward to being in it. It's so much fun, you know, especially if you get to go play somebody you don't normally play. That's always fun, and you know, just being being lucky enough to be one of the teams practicing. The teams have already put their equipment away is something you never want to take for granted.
All right, Bill. Thank you very much. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck,
Thank
Bill.
you.
All right, Bill
Bill
Bicker.
Bicker.
Bill Bicker joins us from Plainfield South. This is the Week 9 edition of Pigskin Preview on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports.
Your home for Will County's
This is
talk and sports. We're 1340 WJOL. Will County's News Talk Sports. 1340
From ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. 19 days to go till the midterm elections. President Biden in Pittsburgh campaigning for Democratic Senate candidate John Fetterman in a tight race with Republican TV doctor Mehmet Oz. ABC's Mary Bruce.
With Biden's approval rating in the 40s, some have said flatly they don't want the president to come campaign for them.
It ain't over till it's over.
But some voters we spoke with, like Brian McKenzie in nearby Sewickley, aren't convinced. Do you think it's helpful or hurtful for the president to come and spend time with candidates here?
I think it hurts him
And why?
because he's not popular. He's not doing a good job.
Others, like Daniel Sponseller, disagree. You think he might drag down some of the candidates?
I don't think so. I don't want to believe that, you know, and I don't really think he will. I think he'll probably be neutral, maybe neutral at best.
Federal appeals courts denied South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham's request to block a subpoena from Georgia's Fulton County grand jury investigating efforts to overturn the 2020 election. That means Graham has to show up to testify. Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett has rejected a request by a group of Wisconsin taxpayers to block the Biden student debt relief plan. Iranian troops are in Crimea, part of Ukraine grabbed by Russia years ago, says the White House. Iran supporting Russian drone attacks in Ukraine. State Department spokesman Ned Price on Russia.
The fact is that they don't have the ability to organically produce, to import the key inputs that they need. And so they're turning to Iran. They're exploring arrangements with North Korea.
A wrinkle of the U.S. job market continuing to be strong. A downside, says ABC's Karen Travers.
The crisis in the childcare industry has gotten worse. We met one childcare worker who has a second job at a grocery store just to pay his bills. And one director of a childcare center says she's losing workers to fast food restaurants and retailers because they can pay more per hour than she can.
You're listening to ABC News.
Did you know there's a conservative advocacy and benefits organization with over 2 million members and counting? It's AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. Here are 3 reasons why you should consider joining AMAC right now. First, AMAC saves you money from discounts on travel and lodging, cell phones and plans, access to insurance products, and more. Joining AMAC is a powerful tool against inflation. Second, with a bi-monthly magazine, daily web content, podcasts with America's thought leaders, and an app that delivers insightful coverage of the issues that matter most. AMAC is a trusted source of information. And third, the reason why people say it's their favorite is that AMAC fights for your conservative values on Capitol Hill. With more than 2 million members, AMAC is a voice that cannot be ignored, working tirelessly to preserve the freedom secured by our Constitution. Go to amac.us/liberty and join today. That's amac.us/liberty. amac.us/liberty.
A Nevada child has died from a brain-eating amoeba.
It's a tiny parasite, and it's rare, but when the brain-eating amoeba enters the nose and then the brain, most cases are deadly. The Southern Nevada Health District says a boy has died from a brain-eating amoeba he likely got from swimming in Lake Mead in October. Doctors say there's little that can be done once the amoeba is in the brain. The parasite can't be killed with antibiotics or antivirals. The amoeba only lives in warm, freshwater environments. The health district saying avoid swimming in warm, fresh water or wear a nose clip. Alex Stone, EDC News.
For the 8th month in a row, sales of previously owned homes in the U.S. have fallen. The National Association of Realtors reports existing home sales dipped 1.5% in September compared to August, pointing to higher mortgage rates. Median price of an existing home increased to $384,000. That's up more than 8% compared to this time last year. He's known for writing the scores for movies like Gladiator and The Lion King. Now, Hans Zimmer has a new piece in his catalog, The Seattle Kraken's Pre-Game Introduction. The 8-minute original will also play during game breaks and TV promos, even on the Seattle monorail as fans head to the game. Zimmer was asked by Hollywood friend, producer, and collaborator Jerry Bruckheimer, who's in the Kraken ownership group. This is ABC News.
Finding the right Medicare plan? Oof, no easy feat. Kind of like those dances my granddaughter loves making me do. But then I found Walgreens FindRx coverage. Lets you compare plans online, over the phone, or in person. Made Medicare shopping so easy. Plus, I found plans with low-cost copays. I can get down with that. Medicare annual enrollment ends December 7th. Find a plan that's right for you at walgreens.com/Medicare.
Chuck Severson, ABC News.
Moments like seeing my son's team cheer him on mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for postmenopausal women or for men with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
It's been 9 long months, but high school football is back. This is State Farm agent Kevin Malloy, the proud sponsor of the Pigskin Preview Show, wishing all of our local teams the best of luck in 2022. Only time will tell how many champions we'll crown this year. Speaking of championship teams, if you're looking for a new insurance agency, why not consider the Malloy State Farm team, voted the best of Will County 4 years in a row. Give us a call at 815-463-5800 to hear what a championship team sounds like.
Hey, it's Monica from Slocum in the Morning, and I have a scary deal from Wilk Real Estate. My friend Brent Wilk is offering a 3.75% overall commission rate while saving thousands of dollars. With Brent Wilk, you're in excellent hands. He sold over 2,000 homes in his 20-year career. List with Brent Wilk of Wilk Real Estate for a reduced overall commission rate of 3.75% by calling today at 815-230-5356, 815-230-5356, or go to ChicagoAreaHomeExpert.com.
Got a problem with your car? Here's a chance to talk to the experts. Listen in this Thursday at 9:35 to Car Talk with the experts from the service department at Darcy Buick GMC. Call in with your questions about any vehicle and get honest, experienced answers about your car. Plus, get helpful tips for keeping your car in great shape for every season. Listen to Car Talk this Thursday at 9:35 a.m. Brought to you by Darcy Buick GMC on Essington Road in Joliet and at DarcyMotors.com. Right here at 1340 WJOL. Will County's News Talk Sports.
Time for maintenance on my furnace. Gotta find the best price.
Not just the best price. You need the best, most professional service, too. You don't want to be without heat in the middle of winter.
Okay, so who do you trust?
Well, I've been using Roscope's Heating and Cooling for years. They're always so professional with my heating maintenance, and Roscope's goes above and beyond. They'll check all the gas-fired appliances in our house for safety, not just your furnace.
Like my stove or clothes dryer or water heater, too?
Yep. Roscope's checks all the above, and of course, thoroughly cleans our heating system. They'll make sure it's all safe and ready to go, and my winters are stress-free. Well, for my furnace, anyway.
Will they clean my garage while they're at it?
You're on your own there.
Yeah, it was worth a shot. I'm calling Roscope's Heating and Cooling today.
Or go online, ROUSCULPS.com. That's ROUSCULPS.com.
Your official home for Joliet and Will County sports is 1340 WJOL.
Good evening. Welcome back to hour 2 of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. EDGYTIM along with the coach, Joe Rodriguero, and Evan Bredesen spinning the dials. Joe, this edition and every edition of Pigskin Preview brought to you by State Farm agents John Wright in Joliet and Kevin Malloy in New Lenox. Like a good neighbor, Joe?
State Farm is there.
Game of the week, tomorrow night, 7:30 kickoff. Providence Catholic on the Emerald Isle. They will host St. Lawrence. Providence at 4-4, needing a win to get in, Joe.
Yes.
That will actually kick off the night Friday, 6:05 with Friday Night Lights with Evan Bredesen, your pregame show. And Joe?
Yes, sir.
Every year we talk to this gentleman. He's our friend, and he's always very, very busy, but takes a few minutes to join us. He is the wizard of bracketology.
The guru, yes.
I don't know. He's doing some weird, funky thing tomorrow night. We'll find out what the deal is from him. The one, the only, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Steve Soucy. Good evening, sir.
Hello. Gentleman is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence, but, we'll go from there.
We are giving you the benefit of the doubt.
I got a bone to pick before we get started here.
Okay.
You sent me that message in the middle of the week saying we have to move you to the 7 o'clock hour. I now understand why I had to get moved, and I have no problem with it. But where was my invite?
We had no idea that was happening until we walked in the studio tonight.
Yes.
I got to eat too here, guys.
Oh, we know.
Well, come on over.
We know.
There's plenty, believe me.
And the ladies were discussing your handiwork, so they're big fans. And
yes.
So, that's fine. I'll just remember this for the future. That's fine.
Well,
I see where I rate in the grand scheme of things.
It is what it is, my friend.
Yep.
All right, let's get into the nasty here, if you will. So I guess some of the biggest questions we've gotten have been, are 4 and 5s going to get in?
The cop-out answer is I'm not sure.
Okay.
But right now, I think we're going to get a very small handful of them. Not many. Right now, it looks like, I have I have 4 projected into the field right now. One of those is a conference champion that gets in regardless of their record.
And who is that?
That's Mount Vernon.
Okay.
But then from there, you've got that puts us at 253 teams that are in. Still need 3 more. So what that comes down to is that you got to go to the 4-win teams to fill that field out.
Who are a handful at the very top point wise?
The leaders in that clubhouse, if you will, are Barrington, Oak Park River Forest is another. Who is the other one? So those are 2 right there. What it comes down to, the hard tax, is if you're not in the high 40-point range, you're probably not going to be in that conversation. Buffalo Grove is the other one. Thank you. There it is.
If Providence would wind up 4-5, would they be one of those teams in the high 40s? I would imagine
Providence would probably be one of the teams in the high 40s, but in that situation, it gets interesting because St. Lawrence actually would leapfrog Providence.
Okay.
Yeah, with points, yes.
So then, while obviously it would be painful to take that loss, it would kind of be a double whammy for them.
Yeah.
So that's what because it might actually come down to a situation where it might be one or the other. So that's it would. They'd be very high on the list, but they'd actually fall a spot with the loss too. So and it might, like I said, very close on that situation. When you're looking at the 4 and 5s, I mean, this was something that I thought we were going to have happen last year.
Yep.
And then we had a firestorm of 4 and 4 teams on Friday.
Yep.
Just rise up and fight their way into the field, and that's always an option. I mean, we've got 28 teams across the state that are playing with 4 and 4 records, that are playing opponents with better records. Some of them look like extreme long shots. Some of them look very manageable, like it's possible that they could win those games. So every time that happens, where you have one of those games, it becomes less and less likely that we'll need a 4-win team to get into the field. Go ahead.
I notice quite a few more Thursday night games in week 9. Is I would imagine that's fully sanctioned by Steve Soucy.
Oh, I'm a big fan. That's definitely one of those things that. However, I've still got my bone to pick with a couple of Saturday games that are.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up.
To upset the apple cart, guys.
Can we? I meant to ask Mr. Troha this. I didn't get a chance to send him a text. Did they change or stop enforcing the 1 p.m. kickoff rule?
They must not be enforcing it because the rule still exists. I looked it up.
And honestly, a 1:30 kickoff in most of these places, as you well know, is like a 2 o'clock kickoff.
Yeah, and then of course that's being broadcast on TV, and we all know those games go extremely efficiently.
And probably a weird homecoming or Parents' Day at the other games.
Yeah. So I was really curious about that, and I didn't know why that was happening. But doing this, it's like the one that really gets me is that there's a Saturday morning game between Chicago Richards and Chicago Agricultural Science. They're both 4 and 4. If I'm wrong, then that ripples 3 playoff classes.
Wow.
So
there you go.
I mean, and you want to talk? I know you talked about it earlier in the show with someone mentioning about Sacred Heart Griffin. That's a situation that could affect Sacred Heart Griffin because guess where Ag Science is?
Yeah, where are they at? Where are they at right now? Sacred Heart. They're in 4, right?
They are the second smallest team in 4A right now.
So they are definitely bubbly.
Yeah, they definitely would be defined as bubbly. But those kinds of results, like the ones we're just talking about, if it goes the other way, then the way I have projected, the line moves up. They're one team closer, one upset, and they're back in 3A again.
You mentioned the 2 public league teams playing. What are a handful of other games that are going to be pretty important in the big picture, in your opinion?
Well, I mean, there are 8 4 and 4, against 4 and 4 games out there. One of them that obviously stands out from the Catholic League is the Bennett Nazareth game. Winner gets in. I mean, if Nazareth loses that game, they shoot up towards the top of the 4 and 5 list. But as we've already discussed, I don't think anybody wants to roll the dice that the 4 and 5 teams are going to get in. So obviously that's pretty pivotal for both of those teams. Bennett would be pretty high on the list of playoff point teams. falling to 4 and 5, but probably on the outside looking in, to be completely honest. So there's one tonight that I think is fairly interesting on the grand scheme of things. Hillcrest is playing Oak Forest. That's one that Hillcrest needs to win. Oak Forest is already in with 5 wins, and on paper they look pretty equivalent. So, maybe Hillcrest can get themselves in, and if they don't, then if Oak Forest wins that game, they bump Hillcrest off the board. So that's a pivotal one too. But there's a lot of them out there. Like I said, there's this is when I really start to zero in on the 4 and 4s, because they're the teams that are going to factor in on the back end, and we've got, I believe it's 58 games statewide that involve a 4 and 4 or 2 4 and 4s. So there are a lot of them out there.
Souce, all these 4 and 4 and 4 and 5 teams, and the team that intrigues me is Morris. With all the shifting and everything, could they possibly move up?
I'm glad you said shifting. It didn't start out like you were going to say that.
I don't swear. If I did, I apologize. I did say shifting.
No, you're fine. No, you're fine.
With all this shifting, would Morris go up to 5A?
Well, I mean, the funniest thing about this in regards to, I've had Morris kind of locked into 4 like all season long.
Right.
And the weird thing about this is, and a lot of people don't realize this, there are so few schools in the state of Illinois that have an enrollment between 800 and 900. There just aren't that many. Right. Morris is one of them.
Yep.
But the list is pretty short.
So there's a huge gap, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and most of those programs that are between 800 and 900 are not playing very well this year. So what's happening is a lot of those teams that might be taking up those spots in 4A, even with average teams, they're below average this year.
Right.
So that enrollment number for the back end of 4A has been pushing up. It's got as high as 950 at some point this year, and it has never been that high.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think Morris right now, they're 3 off the bubble in my projection. That's a spot that they could move out of the classification, but I'm not holding my breath on that.
If I remember my Souceology history, you like that? Just came up with that on my own.
I like that.
There has never been a team to move more than 3 spots. Does that still hold true?
In week 9, I've had one time where it moved 4. One time, and that was recently.
Okay.
But most of the time, I mean, if you're holding your breath and hoping for a 3 or a 4 team move, you better get some oxygen, because it's probably not gonna work out for you.
See, I listen to you every once in a while.
Yeah,
Pays
I mean,
attention.
you pay attention sometimes. You deny me free food, but you listen. So I appreciate it.
Yep. No problem. It's Dad's selective hearing. We all have it. All right. What's this weird, funky thing you're doing tomorrow night? Fill us in.
Well, on Friday Night Drive, we're starting up at about 6:30 in the evening, and we're going to basically, I don't know how many people are familiar with this. I'm sure some are. We're going to NFL Red Zone it tomorrow night. We're going to follow games around the state via Twitter, via our reporters. And as those final results in, I'm going to be kind of live updating what those results mean to the playoff field. We don't know how long we're going to be doing this. I've told some internal people, if we try to shut that off too early, people are going to hunt you down and find you and, with torches and stuff. But we'll be there late. You can find us on FridayNightDrive.com. You can find us on any of the Shaw News media affiliates. And like I said, me and some of the other reporters on staff are going to be combining forces and just kind of following the craziness that Week 9 can tend to be. So it's a new experience for us. We're really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be something that people that are so inclined will really enjoy.
So I have some questions.
Yeah.
First of all, will we get to meet any of the Souce family and the Souce dog?
The dogs will probably make a visit at some point in time, whether it was intended or not. They don't behave well. You'll probably actually it's more likely you'll get a visit from our cat.
Okay.
The rest of my family will be hiding. That's probably the logical thing.
Okay. So will there be tipping available and allowed?
I think so.
Okay. So you'll set that up and we can tip you to do different projections or to dance around like a monkey or
Yeah, absolutely. Whatever you need, Edge, I can probably get done. That's
so me coming in and saying "Sup nerds" isn't welcomed, or
well, absolutely. We were thinking about retitling the event back. Like, to be honest with you,
you knew I couldn't stay away. I knew what you guys were up to.
It couldn't have been a more apt title as
I know.
There. Like,
It's the Manquarium of Friday Night Drive.
I figured, like in my twisted head, I figured, there's probably only going to be like 3 or 4 people that are actually in.
No, you had a good crowd.
I did have a good crowd. It surprised me, and people were real positive about it.
There's a lot of lonely people out there, Steve, as you're about to find out tomorrow night.
Exactly. Yep. That's what we're counting on, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I know.
No, it should be fun, and like I said, this week 9 is something that I know that Illinois high school football fans look forward to all year round. So we're hoping to give them a little bit more things to snack on while they're waiting for those playoff pairings on Saturday.
Yep, and Saturday you can find Soucy, you can find myself and Jim Taylor as well. We will be at IHSA Studios. We will have the pre and the post game show. The actual TV show will be Dave Bernhardt and Matt Troha from 8 to 9. We'll be online 7:30 to 8, and then what is it, Souce, 9 to like 10:30, I think.
I think it's an hour.
Yeah.
Are we subtitling that event "The Champions of Handsome"? Or is that what we're going with?
I can do better. Let me work on it.
Okay, keep working on it.
Yep. All right, my friend. Appreciate you as always.
Yeah, thanks, Souce.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.
All right, Steve Soucy, the Souce, joining us. We're going to step aside and take a break. Don't go anywhere. We go back out to the phone lines. We got a couple more coaches to talk to. This is the Week 9 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL. Will County's News, Talk, Sports.
The annual Lights of Love Memorial Tribute, hosted by Lightways Hospice and Serious Illness Care, is back at the beautiful Rialto Square Theater in Joliet. Join us Wednesday, November 23rd for an evening of remembrance. Register by October 31st to have your person honored with a photo. You'll also receive a special memorial ornament. For more information and to register, go to lightways.org. That's lightways.org.
Hi, this is State Farm Agent John Wright. Every team knows the 2-point play can be a winning move. That's why I can help you go for 2 by combining your home and auto insurance. It's a great call that saves you time and money. So go for the win and score savings by combining your home and auto with me, State Farm Agent John Wright. It's just another way we're here to help life go right. Call me, John Wright, at 815-725-5052 today.
COVID-19 moves fast, and now you can too. If you feel symptoms, even if they're mild, you should test fast. Test positive and at high risk for severe COVID-19? Then act fast with authorized oral treatments that can be taken at home and must be taken within 5 days from when symptoms begin. COVID-19 moves fast, and now you can too by asking your healthcare provider if an oral treatment is right for you. Learn about a treatment option at treatcv19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
Will County Seniors, a nonprofit organization serving senior citizens and their families, has provided resources and programming to senior citizens in the county since 1966. We help seniors live independent lives, offering care coordination, simple home repairs, transportation assistance, and even tax preparation assistance. We help seniors maintain their independence and safety. We help seniors live active lives. Seniors have a variety of interests, and we help them find a community of people with similar interests. If you're the physically active type, our Tai Chi, yoga, or line dancing groups may be for you. If you're more of a creative type, you can plug in with our painting or woodworking groups. Or maybe you're interested in meeting new people over board games or meals. Will County Seniors offers all these opportunities. For more information on resources and programs offered, visit willcountyseniors.org or call 815-723-9713. Again, that's willcountyseniors.org or 815-723-9713.
High school football on 1340 WJOL.
And welcome back. It is the Week 9 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. EDGYTIM along with the coach, Joe Renegaro, Evan Bredesen spinning the dials. And again, appreciate all the comments and everybody out on our Facebook. Well, it is technically Facebook Live as well as YouTube. And everybody listening at home, 1340 WJOL, thanks for joining us. Out to the phone lines, Joe.
Yes, sir.
I'm not sure you're aware, but the playoffs have started already.
Yes.
They have definitely started out at Joliet West, and joining us is head coach Dan Tito. Coach, welcome to the playoffs.
Hey guys, thank you guys for having me on. And yeah, I mean, I've been telling the kids we've been in playoffs ever since we had that loss to Plainfield Central. So, you know, it's a place that we've been comfortable being for the last couple of weeks now.
Got to imagine just the fact that the way the season started, you hang in there, you keep fighting, you keep scrapping. How difficult was it to keep your kids kind of on board and in check and say, hey, look, we're not done yet. We still got some stuff ahead of us, and we can still get into the dance.
No, I mean, and actually, I'm going to go the opposite way. It really wasn't that hard at all.
Good.
We're very lucky to have a very strong senior group. A lot of great kids of high character who I believe have started to turn around the culture at Joliet West and just, you know, understanding what it means to protect our brand. And, you know, after our first 3 weeks, obviously we played 3 phenomenal programs with Lockport, Minooka, and Plainfield North. You know, we had the West Aurora game where we came back at the end, you know, just kind of showing that, you know, we fight till the end. And we had the Plainfield Central game where we started down 22-0. We ended 30-22. And, you know, and we talked. We said, hey, you know, our goal is to be in playoffs. We're in playoffs right now. And our team is bought in, led by our senior class. And like I said, a lot of high-quality kids that are looking to turn the culture around of our football program.
Dan, I was there on Saturday. And whoever sent me the stats, either you or one of your coaches, thank you. Defensively, I was impressed the way your team just basically took the game over from the get-go. I mean, you had Christian Strickland, you know, taking the fumble in for a touchdown. You had a block punt. You had safeties. It seemed like all day long your defense kind of set up your offense into very short situations most of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? You know, we're very lucky to have some awesome kids on defense. Yeah, Sticky got that fumble recovered for a touchdown. Dylan Pengrazi with the safety. D-line was flying off the ball, you know, getting into the backfield. Backers played downhill. It was a great game on defense. You know, got the opportunity to get some players, some other younger players some playing time. So, yeah, defense had a great game. And you know, we're looking for the defense to have another great game coming up against Plainfield South. Obviously, they have a very talented running back in Brian Stanton.
Yep.
You know, so we're going to be counting on our defense again to kind of continue that momentum.
You watch Stanton on tape, and I watch him quite a bit. I've been following him for the last couple of years, obviously, and boy, he just does a lot of things really well.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, he's a hard runner. He's fast. They line up at receiver. They line him up slot. Every so often, put him on defense. He's a complete player, and that's going to be, you know, he's a big part of their offense, and rightfully so, with the talents and the abilities he has. And that's going to be kind of the, you know, I think that's going to be the important matchup, or important part of our matchup is, you know, be able to contain number 9.
You know, and offensively, Dan, you know, I mean, Carl Bowe does what Carl Bowe does. I mean, he had a great game, and Javon Johnson, you know, had a touchdown. Billy Bailey had a nice reception and run. And I was glad to see him, because I was telling Scott Slocum, who did the play-by-play, I said, you got to really watch this kid. So he gets out in the open, and a couple times he did to show his speed. And I thought, and as you said, you played everybody on Saturday. And Evan Gould he came in for Carl, and I thought he did a pretty good job throwing the football.
Yeah, and you know, and Evan was our quarterback last year when Carter Baranski, who was the senior quarterback from last year, went down. Evan filled in, and you know, Evan is one of the toughest kids I know. He's a student of the game. He's not afraid of anything. And it was great to see Evan be able to get in the game and sling a little bit. You know, and Evan's he's a leader in the locker room. Just an all-around great kid too.
Coach, as far as, you know, obviously all focus is this week, because let's face it, if you don't take care of business this week, there's not going to be a next week. What When we're going to keep it on the up positive here, Joe.
Yes.
When you get in the playoffs, Coach, who do you talk to? Is there someone out there that maybe you talk to, or even non-playoff, maybe a mentor, someone that you kind of lean on a little bit for advice? Who do you go to in those situations?
When I first got the job, I tried reaching out to as many head coaches as possible.
Yep.
And I've gotten a good response. Coach Tionic from South Elgin, Coach Ivo from Bolingbrook, Coach Eimer from West Aurora. We went down to Missouri to go see Coach Perry in Nixa. He's one of the premier programs there. It's Coach Thorson from Morris has been great. And there's just it's amazing kind of like the fraternity that exists there. Coach Leck, who was our former head coach last year. And York, speaking of Coach Leck, his alma mater and his old stomping ground, York, they're having a great season.
They are.
All guys that, obviously they have great experiences. They've all been to the dance before. So I mean that's kind of who we're looking to.
Yep.
And actually, and on our staff too, we have Coach Thomason, who was a Hall of Fame coach. He coached at Minooka. He was the head coach of Minooka in the 80s.
Yep.
He coached at Batavia when they went to state. Coach Farrell used to be the head coach at Fenton. He has playoff experience as well. So I'm very, very lucky that there are a lot of coaches that, are willing to help out a young coach like myself.
Yeah, you need those mentors. There's no doubt about it. Coach, good luck.
Yes.
Go get it. Nothing would be more exciting to see Joliet West crash the door and get into the playoffs.
Yes, for sure.
Go get them, Coach.
Yeah, good luck, Dan.
Thank you. You guys have a great night. And again, thank you guys for having me on.
You bet.
You're welcome.
Dan Tito joining us, head coach of Joliet West. And Joe, that would be a terrific story.
It would be for the way they started. Yes.
No doubt about it. Again, appreciate Dan joining us. And yeah, it's one of those where I'd love to know the process. Once they get in, if they get in, they get a win over Plainfield South. What does a first-year head coach do from there?
Yes.
We're going to talk to another one after the commercial break. So we'll see from Tyler Plantz what his plan of attack is as well. But as we talked about, there's no week 10 if you don't win week 9. So
that's exactly
totally
everything's on the line tomorrow night.
Totally get it. Going through the rest of the games in the area. We mentioned Joliet Central on the road at Plainfield Central. Joe, I think Plainfield Central gets the win. I think they get to 5-4. They are projected right now to be in 7A. Oswego East at Plainfield North. Good game. Oswego East obviously very capable, but I cannot see North not wanting to close the door and finish with a high seed at 9-0.
Right, and especially at home.
By the way, Plainfield North, as we talked about with Souce, kind of bubbly right now. They're maybe the smallest team right now in 8A. So that could be a surprise. Definitely keep an eye on that if you're a Plainfield North fan. Connected with Anthony Bordino.
Okay.
We will definitely have him on next week. So
I tell you what, if they get a 7A, they could cost them.
Could be good.
They
could be a better path for sure.
Yep.
Minooka on the road at West Aurora again. It's a big game for Minooka. You do not. There's a world of difference between 6-3 and 5-4 in 8A, and that could be the difference between a possible winner or Lincoln Way East or Loyola.
Yes.
Or York.
You don't want to play a top 4.
Now,
team, no.
York worked out pretty well last year.
Yes.
I don't think last year's this year.
No.
So you want to get to 6-3 and you want to get some momentum.
Yes.
Lincoln Way East again on the road at Bradley. Bradley's in, Joe. So that's fortunate for East. That is not a must win for the Boilermakers, but I'm not expecting an easy game here.
No, Bradley always plays Lincoln Way East tough at Bradley.
And Bradley, to be fair, has played very well this year. They've gotten some big wins.
Yes.
I can't remember the kid's name. Quarterback. Oh God, Ethan's his first name. Cole, the head coach's son. Ethan Cole's the quarterback, having a big year for the Boilermakers. Yeah, Joe, I don't think that's going to be an easy one.
No, not at all.
Stag 2-6 at Bolingbrook, and again, same scenario with Bolingbrook as there is with Minooka. If you're Bolingbrook, you want to get one more win, get a couple wins under your belt, get some momentum going, and go into the playoffs. And again, Joe, Bolingbrook can be as dangerous or not dangerous. It just depends on the day of the week and how they're playing.
They have one of the most dangerous offenses in the state, without a doubt.
I do not want to pull that name up if I'm a high seed.
No,
I just don't.
not at all.
I don't at all. Home and Flossmoor at Lincoln Way West. As we mentioned, it looks like West is out at 3-5. Even with a win, I don't think they have the playoff points to do it.
Nope.
HF, very solid year. They definitely want to try to get to 6-3. 2 5-3 teams here, Joe. Lockport at Andrew. Adam Lewandowski and the Thunderbolts. Nice year for Andrew. Both looking to get to 6-3.
You know, I saw Lockport last Friday night at Lincoln Way East. I think the weather had a little bit of effect on Lockport, especially with the passing game and stuff. But again, it's supposed to be dry tomorrow, and Lockport's a good team. And I know, the moniker of defending state champs, but they're a good team. So I'm picking them to win tomorrow night.
Lincoln Way Central at 3-5 at Sandburg 2-6. I would hope that Lincoln Way Central can get that fourth win, build a little momentum at the end of the year here, and hopefully be able to continue it, taking it into the offseason.
Yes, for sure.
Joe, break out the Fighting Saints.
Yes.
The Fighting Saints have won 4 straight games after starting the year at 0-2. So the 4-2 Saints at home Saturday at Joliet Memorial Stadium, Busey Bank Field. Is that what we're calling it now? I believe.
Bank Field.
Is it Busey Bank Field? I don't know.
I think it is.
We'll go with that.
All right.
They are hosting St. Ambrose. St. Ambrose at 2-4. That game is a 1:00 kickoff Saturday at the stadium. And hey, congrats to Joe Curie again.
Yes.
4-2 start after an 0-2 beginning. Nothing wrong with that, and certainly in conference title contention for sure. So
yes,
again, great to see. When we look at possible, we mentioned teams that could be bubbly. Obviously, Plainfield North could be on that line between 7A and 8A. Joliet Catholic solid in 4.
Yes.
Providence certainly looks like they are going to wind up in 4.
Yes.
Morris, for now, is bubbly, but could wind up in 4. Can you imagine the potential 4A North bracket?
Oh, boy. Well, it all depends what Morris would do. Morris would go to the Southern bracket, be a little bit easier, but even without Morris,
I would think someone out of those 3 would have to go south. Right?
Right.
Because geographically, someone's going to have to go south.
So that most likely be Morris.
You would think.
But that upper bracket in 4A, the northern bracket, that is a meat grinder.
Yeah.
There's some great
that could be absolutely crazy if, that's one of those where I would not be shocked to see like a Morris, JCA, or, well, not even JCA. It would probably be more like Providence since they're they'd wind up a 5-4.
Yes.
Or even at a 4-5. Morris, Providence.
Wow.
First round or second round at the most.
Yes.
Or like a Providence Morris first round winner plays JCA second round.
Oh, man.
Do you think there's going to be a little outcry about 1 through 32 and 4A after that?
I think so.
And that's interestingly enough, I don't think enough people are talking about that right now.
This could we haven't seen the brackets yet, but once the brackets come out, people will be talking.
This could have very well been the first year of 1 through 32, and what would Soucy have been doing?
Yeah, I don't
know. Watching baseball, I guess. I don't know. Would be interesting for sure. Again, we're going to step aside here in a minute and take a break. And very end of the show, we're going to have Tyler Plantz talk about Providence. And Joe, we have to talk to Tyler a little bit. I know his time's limited, but about that Providence game last weekend.
Oh, man.
What a crazy game.
Yeah, it was
unbelievable.
In the middle of the fourth quarter, I called it the Twilight Zone game.
Yeah.
And it was
strange.
It was absolutely
incredibly strange.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
2 completely, and I mean completely different halves. Providence controlled everything in the first half, and like we said, they might have scored another touchdown. But then in the second half, St. Rita had Providence pinned in their own zone the entire fourth quarter, the whole second half.
Yeah.
It was just crazy. I've never seen a game like that.
No, I haven't either. I mean, I said it's one of the strangest 5 games I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
All right, we'll step aside and take a break. When we come back, we'll finish out the show with Tyler Plantz. We'll talk everything Providence Catholic Celtic football, and we'll slide in a little more things as well. This is the Week 9 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports.
I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
I'm Dawn Coletta, the owner of Elegance Underneath in Naperville. Every day at Elegance Underneath, we honor and care for those affected by breast cancer by offering an array of post-surgery products. As a board-certified mastectomy fitter, I will personally fit you to ensure a great, comfortable fit. Elegance Underneath is an accredited Medicare facility, which means we can help you file for your Medicare benefits. Elegance Underneath offers the best fitting bras for every woman, all shapes, styles, and sizes, and the highest quality brands. We also offer a selection of shapewear, panties, and more. Call Elegance Underneath to set up your mastectomy appointment with myself for your post-surgical needs at 630-579-5983. That's 630-579-5983. Like Elegance Underneath on Facebook, and come see us in the Naperville Crossings Plaza at Route 59 and 95th Street in Naperville.
Are you dealing with back taxes? Are you worried about what might happen if and when you do pay those taxes? Call Greg Severson at Cordano Severson and Associates. Greg has worked with many businesses in getting out of tricky tax situations. He has worked with the IRS for many years and with many different clients. He knows the players and how to navigate the system so that your business will get the best solution for your situation. So whether you're struggling to meet the next tax deadline or dealing with overdue or late tax payments, it's time to call Greg Severson. Greg will help your business now, but also help you set up a year-round tax plan, saving you this hassle year after year. He'll give you a free half-hour consultation to get started and give your business the attention it deserves. Call the firm that has provided quality tax advice for almost 50 years right here in the Will County area. Cordano Severson and Associates, a firm you can trust and your business can afford. Co-founder and proud member of the Will Buy Local Alliance.
So you're getting some roof or exterior work done, and you've covered all your bases, right? Even checked out some online reviews. You think you've got everything covered? Well, think again. Not all roofing and siding companies are insured. That's why I can't say enough great things about R.E. Duchesne Construction. They are a licensed and fully bonded exterior contractor serving Will, Grundy, and Kendall counties for over 40 years. I trust them, and I've personally used them.
Hi, I'm Rita Duchesne Hughes. If you look at your home and don't like what you see, or what you have no longer protects your family and largest asset, call us at R.E. Duchesne Construction. R.E. Duchesne has an A+ Better Business Bureau rating, so you can be confident you need only make one call. Looking to upgrade? R.E. Duchesne offers a full line of roof shingles, gutters, siding, soffit fascia, and windows. Call us at 815-722-2821 for all your home improvement needs. Financing is now available. Check us out on the web at reducheneinc.com.
And be sure to tell them Scott Slocum sent you.
The new Google Pixel 7 Pro is super, especially when it's on Verizon, the network America relies on. It's supercharged, super powered, and a super...
deal.
You know it. Now, switch to Verizon and get the Google Pixel 7 Pro on us with select trade-ins and select 5G unlimited plans.
That really is super.
Yep. There's never been a better time to switch to Verizon. $899.99 device payment purchase with new smartphone line on select 5G unlimited plans required. $200 Verizon e-gift card with porting. Less $700 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. 0% APR. Trade-in conditions and additional terms apply.
Pigskin Preview with EDGYTIM on 1340 WJOL.
And welcome aboard. It is the Week 9 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. EDGYTIM along with the coach, Joe Rodegaro, and Evan Bredesen spinning the dials. And Joe?
Yes, sir.
Happy to welcome in the head coach of the Providence Catholic Celtics, Tyler Plantz. And Tyler, thanks for joining us and welcome aboard.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, and always great to be back and talking with you guys. How's everything going?
We're fine. Joe and I have been like two cackling hens talking about your game last week because we finally got a chance to sit down and watch it. And I'm going to be honest with you, Tyler, that might have been one of the 5 strangest games I think I've ever seen.
Coach, I didn't know. I wasn't sure exactly what to say after the game.
I don't blame you.
I mean, all I know, and I told Joe this, I said, if you could bottle up that first half.
Oh, yes.
And unleash that baby tomorrow night, you're going to be great. Just get rid of that second half.
It was just like but it wasn't like it was just one of the more bizarre games I've ever been a part of.
Yeah.
It was the first half was great. We gave up 0 yards, period. Guys were flying to the football. Everything was good.
Everything
and then it was
clicked.
Like the second half, it was like every fringe item that could have went wrong. Like, well, we're going to let this punt drop from a kid committed to Alabama, and the ball just—I don't know if it's the special Nick Saban touch or whatever it was, but it landed on the 30 and then it go on the 1-yard line, and it was just like I don't know. It was just like one of those things. Sometimes it's like the stars align one night, and then. Last night it was almost the opposite for that second half. But again, proud of the guys. But then, as we're trying to change things, the conversation is now, hey guys, it's okay to win. Like you guys are out there, you're beating teams and you're battling. And you guys are doing a great job. Like now it's do the same thing for 4 quarters. So, and they show glimpses of it. They show a big chunk of it when it comes to the physical battle, like walking out there at the coin flip. Like I think they were like 6'5", anywhere from 230 to 320 across the us.
Yep.
And then those guys didn't flinch. They went out there, battled, and just sometimes things happen in ball games. And then, especially coming back working in high school, you realize that again, these are 14, 18-year-olds.
They're kids.
Yeah, they're kids.
Exactly right. Tyler, I talked to Edgy on his way home from his game, and I just when I left the booth at Lincoln Way East, you guys were winning 16-9, I believe, at the time. And I said, well, Providence sounds like they're doing things right and stuff like that. And I was just, as you were, just shocked at the end result. But as I watched the game, the one thing I told him is that, because I saw it first before he did, that you guys can handle when it's raining. I thought you guys did an exceptional job hanging on to the football during that first half, and it was no fun. Probably it was probably fun for the kids to be out there, but with the cold and the rain, I really thought you guys could handle the ball well. And then in the second half, the field position, like you just said, you let the punt drop, and field position just absolutely kills you in the second half.
Yeah, the hidden yards battle, again, something that nobody really talks about, but that's the difference in these games. Especially when you're playing high level, especially in the Catholic League where it's 2 hard-nosed, good, well-coached football teams. It's going to come down to fielding punts. It's going to come down to field position. It's going to come, okay, should we punt here? Do we have to move the ball here? Like being able to strategically play up and down the field, especially when the elements are involved. And again, it's a great learning experience for us for our team where we had a couple of young players, sophomore players, where they were able to learn from that experience and now take it in for ideally the next 6 weeks at this point.
Yep.
And I always say when we do games and I see kids on punts that are back there, and just to kind of piggyback what you said, I don't understand why the kids let the balls. I mean, they're back there. The coaches, you have confidence in those kids as any coach would to catch the football, but they just seem to panic a little bit. I know they don't want to make a mistake, and I understand that, but they're back there for a purpose, and they don't want that ball. I mean, I've seen like again, unfortunately, I didn't see the ball roll to the 1 yard line. It just went, they must have been a commercial or whatever, and they missed that punt. But I couldn't understand. I said, man, something must have happened here, either a penalty or something. But as you said, the ball just rolled to the one, just put you behind the 8 ball on the 1 yard line. But I've seen it all year long, though, where kids are just afraid to catch a punt. And I know they don't want to make mistakes, and I understand that. But I just wish more kids would take a chance in trying to catch those.
Well, yeah, there's two things in that where, that was the first thing I said on Sunday, where it was like, hey, guys, you work hard. You do all the right stuff. Now it's
little
make
stuff.
the play.
Yeah.
Like, don't be scared. Don't be scared of failure. Like,
Right.
again, let it loose. What do you guys got? Like, again, you guys showed that if there's anyone on the state that can line up against us, you guys can battle. You guys can win. You guys can get it done. But now it's going to come down to when push comes to shove, you got to be the guy that makes that play.
Yeah.
You're going to be the guy that fields that punt. You're the guy that, when you can take that pick six back to the house, you secure the catch.
You've got to
be
conversation
this weekend.
I'm sorry, Tyler. You've got to be the guy that sacrifices your body to go block a kick from a kid who's committed to Alabama. You need to be that guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
What kind of a medal does he get?
Right? We got two. We got a punt. We got a punt and a field goal block.
What kind of a medal of honor does that kid get after a game?
Yes.
Right. Well, what he gets a pat on the back, and then he says, "Way to do your job."
Yeah,
that's exactly right. I love that answer. We used to get that. I tell Edgy, especially at the Catholic schools, you get a lot of attaboys. Good job.
Yeah, no doubt
Good
about
job.
I mean, even for them, it's like, I swear, every game, come up with a good plan, and we'll put you in the position to go make the play.
Right.
Just go do it, and we'll get it done. But the other side of it, too, when it comes back to returning punts, I'm asking these guys, I'm like, who played baseball? Who played center field? And, like, a lot of the guys are kind of staring at me like, well, judging a ball, that's important.
Yeah,
yes,
like,
it
ball
is.
skills, like, that's a huge piece of it, is just being able to go catch a fly ball. Judging the flight, judging the trajectory, and obviously it changes a little bit when you get into a guy who's obviously committed to Alabama, where the ball's going to be able to get cut and stuff like that. But just above that, having a confidence in yourself, believing yourself that I'm not only going to catch this ball, I'm going to make a dynamic play that's going to help our team win the game. So shifting that mindset has also been a huge point of emphasis throughout the course of this week too. You guys have responded to that well also.
So we talked to Joliet West and we talked to Plainfield South, and they're certainly Joliet West is in the same spot you are. They're 4-4. They need a win. Coach, I know St. Lawrence, and I know the situation they're in. Their losses came to some really good teams. I know they're going to give you everything you have that they have tomorrow night for 4 quarters. What do they do that you guys really need to be prepared for?
Well, they have a really solid running game. Really impressive running back, and a transfer quarterback who's got a really strong arm too. A team that, again, they battle. A lot of tough kids. They respect everything they're doing over there. But the one thing we're going to have to make sure that we can get done is tackling the running back. He's a guy who's had a lot of explosive plays throughout the course of the year. Who 2 guys will be unblocked at the point of attack, and he'll run through an arm tackle, or he'll make somebody miss. So he's a very, very talented player from everything I've seen on tape. So being able to get him to the ground is obviously a top priority for us. We like to move the pocket a little bit with some roll stuff. But being able to make sure that we can match those routes and take care of that is another top priority for us. And then offensively, again, they've got a pretty strong team up and down, like really sound defensive group. So being able to really try, like all great teams, especially in this league, is stop the run and develop the run for us offensively. So we can make sure that we're identifying our right combinations, where we're working up to, what they're doing. Keys are going to be, obviously, like all games, stopping the run and developing the run game.
Yeah.
Right.
And again, Joe and I will talk a lot because we're old and we have nothing better to do. We talk about history and program history. And you look at Providence over the years, going back to Seth and then obviously with Cogs. Joe, how many times have we seen these 4-4 Providence teams find their way into the playoffs, battle like
Battle-tested.
the Titans of the high school football world, find their way into the playoffs, and no one gives them the time of day at 5-4, and then they get on a run. Tyler, I got to imagine if there haven't been history lessons given, that these kids know the history, I hope, of that program and how successful they've been in the same situation over the years.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. I mean, I was on one of those teams.
Yeah.
We were 5-4, squeaked in the playoffs, and then really made a run, and then really we lost actually at home to Sacred Heart Griffin. I think it was 17-14.
Yeah, I was there.
And then
That was there too. I
that
think
was,
the game on the radio.
a heartbreaker. That was a heartbreaker. Yeah, and then they went on and beat up Vermont. But it was these guys, they never, like, they wouldn't bat an eye. Like, the record means nothing. Like, the biggest point of emphasis each week is, where do we need to improve? And when it comes to the physical battle, when it comes to the game plan battle, when it comes to all the things that go into winning a ball game, they've showed that they're capable of getting it done, but now it's piecing it all together. So for them, it's not like, oh, we're 4-4, 5-4, maybe we're going to make a run. Like, the expectation right now is we have 6 more weeks of football.
Yeah.
And there's no other way to look at it.
No doubt. Again, this game is the WJOL game of the week tomorrow night, or actually, Coach, is it a 7:30 kick?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. So again, that is a 7:30 kickoff. St. Lawrence at Providence Catholic. Again, Providence with a win, they're in. You can start your broadcast with the pregame show at 6:05. Coach Joe, Dave Dwyer will have kickoff at 7:30 out from the Emerald Isle. Tyler, best of luck. Go get one tomorrow.
Yeah, good luck, Tyler.
Appreciate it. Thank you. I mean, I think we got all the bad luck out last week.
I hope so.
All the bad
juju's gone. The bad juju's gone.
Yeah, we're washed off with the rain.
There you go. There you go.
All right, Coach. Good luck.
Good luck, Tyler.
Absolutely appreciate it.
All right, Tyler Plantz joins us from Providence, and again, just he's had a great year, Joe. We'll get into that next week.
No matter what.
For the coach, Joe Rodegaro, Evan Bredesen, I'm EDGYTIM. Thanks for listening and watching, everybody. We appreciate it. We'll be back next week. We'll start breaking down playoffs. This has been Pigskin Preview on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News, Talk, Sports. Good night, everybody.